Today, we'll be having some of the best Wanton Mee in central Singapore and perhaps all of Singapore. We will be experiencing the people's favorite, the most commented Wanton Mee by far, maybe 10 times more mentioned than the next Wanton Mee. We are also going to have a version from probably the most popular roasted meats restaurant in Singapore. Singapore foodies don't even need to look to know where I'm talking about. The lineup for today is insane. There is a very good chance that the best Wanton Mee is from today's video. Let's get it, guys. My gosh, so promising. I almost feel emotional looking at this. It reminds me of how far we have come. In episode 4, I mentioned that wontons can have 12 orthodox ingredients. You don't need to just put mincemeat in it. In episode 2, we mentioned about proper char sius versus fake char sius in Wanton Mee. In the Guangzhou episode, we also talked about zhusheng mian, which this is. An opaque soup, like, we just give the 3 plates now or what? Okay, we eat first, huh? Let's give this a go. As someone who ate 35 plates of Wanton Mee in 5 countries in the last 2 months, I feel I'm uniquely qualified to say this might be the best Wanton Mee in the world. Where do you want me to start? Maybe the most obvious, the char siu. At this point, I'm sure you all so many char siu that you all can tell the quality, right? You get a nice crust on the outside, you get the burnt parts, you get the fatty bits. Maybe if you compare with the other char sius in the series like Toast and Rolls, like Faba, there's a fight. But no doubt this is S tier. The wontons matching the bigger size wontons in the series with a greater variety of ingredients. And earlier on in the series, I'm not sure if any of you caught it, but I made a mistake. One of the wontons, I'm not gonna say which, did not have water chestnut in it. It was turnip, a common cheaper alternative. This one actually has water chestnut to it. You don't add water chestnut just for the texture, you add it for that scent, that flavor that water chestnut has. On top of that, we are talking prawns, mincemeat, black fungus. The wonton is such a mouthful, yet with so many textures. And it is sitting inside opaque soup. It is not just opaque, but this has layers to it as well. If I were to guess, the creaminess is from a mix of chicken feet and pork. You don't get an overt stench of either pork or chicken. It's very balanced, with a good amount of pepper inside. And it is such a joy to contrast it with the noodles. The more I say, the more OP it sounds. My favourite noodles in this series so far was Yulek, and it seems like they just replicated it. This is like when the Quincy stole the captain's bangkai, and then you add Zhu on top of that. It's... wow. Cannot, I need to give it a miss. I'm pretty sure this is by design, but the noodles are ultra starchy. Here's the hot basin. There is no second rinsing, this noodle goes straight in. But it seems pretty obvious to me that they are using the excess starch the same way they use pasta water for the sauce to bind to the noodles. You can see how beautifully the dark soy sauce and the lard coats the noodle. And because they are using zhusheng mian, even in so much liquid, even in so much stickiness, you can still feel the tiak of the noodles. This means is sounding like a hit. At $7, it is one of the more expensive wonton meats in this series, but it may very well win best value. I mean, that $2 extra from the average of wonton mee for proper char sius, humongous wontons, good soup, zhusheng mian. Damn. Damn. I'm glad I left this for the last episode. This series would not be as enjoyable if I started with this. Alright, I'll see you guys at the next stop. We are now at 88 Roasted Meats at Lavender. While we are talking about Wanton Mee today, their reputation in the roasted meat scene is well established. And you can see why. It's a good day when you get legit char siu twice in a row, and their famous sao rou with the signature biscuit finish. Decent looking noodles and wonton as well. And if you're wondering why do I have sao rou? I mean, I'm at 88, right? What do you want me to do? Not order the sao rou. If you're still complaining to the ref, you must have just joined us on this series. Let's give this a go. Wow, what a day. Back to back. Wonderful char siu and sao rou. That burnt smokiness finish on the char siu is exquisite. But perhaps more impressive is the crispy biscuit exterior. I mentioned a few times now on this channel that this kind of roasted meat always wants to crisp up, but it is what kind of crispy that defines it. I feel like this is the ideal kind. So many mini crackles yet so uniform. The wontons are decent as well. This time, we get turnip instead of water chestnut. It does not have that flavor, but we also get Chinese chives or gu cai. The wontons are decent sized, but in the typical soup. The noodles are interesting because just now we had Chef Kang showcase the brilliance of the Malaysian style, the dark soy sauce style. I feel like this is one of the best Singapore style wonton noodles, where you have primarily lard with a sambal. Noodles are not quite tiak tiak, it's more like knick-knack, but seasoned really well. I feel more secured now with these 2 plates of wonton mee back to back. I can say again pretty confidently that the wonton mees in episode 9 were over seasoned. These 2 plates today are more flavorful and at the same time more rounded. I have but one petty miss. The crispy roasted meat is pretty oily. Now I know, like, what are you saying, LJ? Of course sour is gonna be oily. But I feel like between the butchering of the meat and the roasting process allowing the fat to render out of the meat and the seasoning of the meat, specifically wu xiang, the management of these 3 factors may possibly reduce the fatty cloyingness. I say this because I have had their roasted meats before and it was even better than today's. Oh, and also one more miss is that the $10 price tag. They do give a generous amount of char siu and sourdough, but I feel like being double digits is worth at least a mention. The additional roasted meat was $3 by the way. The basic one with just char siu and wonton is $7. I told you guys, right? I told you guys today's lineup is insane, right? No prizes for guessing the rating so far. Maybe small prize if you can guess the next one. I'll see you guys there. We are now at Arc 380 at Wanton Fu, our last wonton mee of this series. And I gotta be honest, after so many plates, I'm not too excited to see wonton mee already. So the 2 plates earlier today were better than I described them to be. But now, it seems like we got good old wonton mee. Typical char siu. This does look like colouring, or is it a smoke ring? And then we got normal size wontons and pretty thick noodles. Let's give this a go. We cut to the chase. The char siu and the wonton, I can Bluetooth to you how it tastes. Received it? The one that I cannot send you is the noodles. There's a very familiar and pleasant egginess about it. I'm not sure where did I eat it before. I feel like it was 干捞溜面. Like there's this certain creaminess about the noodles that is pretty pleasant. Not something I would expect a wonton mee, but not something that I mind at all. Oh, and before I forget, they also have the Eng style chili sauce. Let me give this a go. Also like the Eng style, very bitter. It's not seasoned, it's just a Rempa puree as I put it in a previous episode. I haven't talked much about this chili throughout the series because I feel like there's very little to say. I won't pretend that I can, taste the layers after you have nuked it with spiciness. But I can definitely understand the appeal for someone who really loves the spiciness. Another thing I want to add is that the wontons are quite salty. The saltiness feels like when you add salt to a finished product, it's quite harsh. It doesn't feel like it was cooked with it, which doesn't make sense because you can't post-season a wonton. So I'm not sure why is it like that. But yeah, decent. It's time to wrap it up here and I'll see you guys at the cafe. We are now at Viva Lavender, just next door, and I got myself a hot Americano. Anyway, recap. What should we recap? We made it. We went through all the wonton mees. What have we not talked about? I really like that Chef Kang was in the last episode. I feel like editor, you can put a mini collage here of the things I said in the series and how Chef Kang showed how it's done. I like how you refer to your editor as though you have one. Very Tyler Durden. Anyway, here's a little trip down memory lane. I appreciate a lot of things about hawker culture, but can we leave this soup behind in the 90s? We're done with the 90s. So our wonton's supposed to be a pellet of meat with almost equal amount of skin that you can basically swallow whole, you won't choke. Or should wontons give a small bite of meat, you can put the whole thing in your mouth. You cannot swallow it whole, but after a few chews, it goes down pretty easily. Or to go further, should wontons be like a meatball, where there is a substantial bite of meat, that is dressed with the wrapping. I feel like my ideal as of now is somewhere between Cat 2 and Cat 3. There is no fault in like making wontons like this, but I feel like in the filling there is so much room. You can introduce a difference in texture, cube prawns, butter chestnut, black fungus, to name a few orthodox ingredients. I can name 12 more unorthodox ones. You can see that although they use the dark soy sauce version, it is not dark brown. It's almost like glowing light brown, but what that means is that it really brings out the flavors of dark soy sauce to the absolute best. It sounds very harsh to disqualify char siu just now, right? But when this is the competition, it makes so much sense. The two are incomparable. Although coming from where I come from, why not throw in a few pieces of 猪油炸, tas 猪香面? And what this results in is a very strong tiak noodles without the taste of alkaline. So I guess by min-maxing on the hydration, they can back off the alkaline a bit and still achieve a certain noodle strength. I don't want to spoil the finale, but as of now I think Chef Kang has a really good chance. On another day, 88 would have been the best in the lineup. I also cannot think of too many wonton mees that are better than 88, even not counting their sorrow in. I'm not sure how I sounded just now, but they are one of the few wonton mees with all three, something that we didn't have all the way until episode 8. Although thinking back, maybe some of the earlier wonton mees had all three, just that I didn't recognize it. I need to compare them head to head again. And as for Wanton Fu, I feel a bit bad because of the seeding to be presented so late in the series. I'm gonna be honest, my patience is pretty thin when it comes to wonton mee now. You can guess why, right? So like, even if it's a typical average, nothing wrong kind of wonton mee, it's like, how many times must I read this storybook? And I recognize that it's not fair, so I'm saying it out loud here. Other than that, I think I said all I wanted to say. It's time to get to the verdict. 1 plate I'll walk for the wonton mee, 2 plates I'll take a bus for the wonton mee, and 3 plates I'll go anywhere in Singapore for the wonton mee. And today's wonton mees get 331. Possibly even 4, but we don't know yet. I will have to go back and try to recall all the wonton mees, moderate them, choose the top 3, and run it back, pitting them head to head against each other in the finale, as we always do. But I'm gonna need some time to do that, so next week will be a filler episode, and the finale will be the week after that. So that's all I have for you guys this time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!